Neglecting to stretch some parts of your body after a workout can set you up for back problems, knee problems, even shoulder problems. And these two stretches in particular, one for the top half and one for the bottom half, are essential after every workout. Let's start off with the bottom half of your body. If you're using your legs a lot, running, squatting, cycling, things like that, you're always going to be using your quadriceps muscles. If you work your quads a lot and you don't stretch them, they're going to get tight. And there's one muscle in particular in the quads, the rectus femoris, that you do not want to be tight. A tight, short rectus femoris can put extra pressure on your kneecap, but perhaps more importantly, with its attachment here at the front of the pelvis, it can pull the front of the pelvis forward and down. This increases the arch of your lower back, compressing the facet joints in the lumbar area. The resultant anterior pelvic tilt is the kind of thing that gives you pain with prolonged standing and can cause inflammation of the back. So the rectus femoris needs to be stretched after every leg workout, run or spin session. To stretch it, bend your knee, bring it back to be even with the other knee, and then anteriorly tilt your pelvis by tightening your abdominal muscles and squeezing your glutes. You'll feel a stretch down the front of the thigh. Hold this for 20 seconds and repeat 3 times. Be sure not to increase the arch of your lower back when you do this exercise. If you struggle to reach this position, only bring your knee back as far as you can without arching your lower back. You can use a towel to hold your foot if it helps. For people new to this stretch, it may help to do it up against the side of the door frame to help you keep good alignment. Stretch number 2. The shoulder joint is the most vulnerable joint in the upper limb, and the key to protecting it is to make sure that the shoulder blade or scapula sits and moves properly. If we ignore this, then we can end up with shoulder bursitis problems, the dreaded rotator cuff muscle pain, or even AC joint problems. Unfortunately, a lot of the workouts that we do tend to tighten the muscles that tilt the scapula forward and around the body, disrupting the shoulder blade's position and movement. The worst culprit is the pectoralis muscles, because so many workouts are pec heavy, and the pec minor in particular. So we need to stretch the pec minor regularly. But there's an important key to stretching the pec minor effectively. You see, the pec minor is notorious for getting trigger points in it. A trigger point is just an area of muscle that's stuck in a contracted state. But if part of the muscle is contracted, when you're stretching it, you're only stretching below and above that point. If you release the trigger point first, then you'll be able to stretch the whole muscle. To see if you've got a trigger point in pec minor, press on this depression between the shoulder and the pec major, about here, and feel around where the pec minor extends down onto ribs 3, 4 and 5. And if you find a little tender spot about here that's really quite painful, like a 6 out of 10 or more, that's a trigger point. To release it, use a tennis ball to lean on the knot in a door frame. Put the opposite foot forward, hold the ball with the other hand to secure it from moving, and place your hand on your hip to expose the muscle. Keep the ball on the saw point without moving for 1 minute on each side. Now you're ready to stretch the pec minor effectively. Firstly, put your hand on the door frame, elbow bent and higher than your shoulder, then ease forward slowly and pull your shoulder blades together and down. Lower your elbow if it hurts your shoulder, and vary the position slightly if you feel any tingling or numbness down into your fingertips. You should feel it stretch where we were looking for trigger points at the front of your chest. Hold this position for 20 seconds and repeat 3 times. If you don't have trigger points, your pec minor can still be tight, so still do the stretch. Stretching your pecs like this will even help with rounded shoulders. Both of these stretches are static stretches, and research shows that the optimal time for static stretching is 60 seconds total. So that means you can stretch for 20 seconds 3 times, or for 30 seconds twice. But just remember, static stretches are supposed to be done after your workout, when the muscles are warm. Now, if you want to do some stretching before a workout to warm up the muscles, that's when you want to do active stretching. So active stretching, for example, for the pecs would be actively moving and stretching the pecs in different directions to warm it up. And that's quite different from static stretching, which you do after a workout, where you hold a position for a period of time. Now, there is one really important pre-gym exercise that you should do to activate the muscles that protect your shoulder from rotator cuff damage. And that's the combination exercises for serratus anterior and lower trapezius. So I'm going to be doing a video on that, so make sure you check that out. I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this video once it's completed. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, write a little comment, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Okay, cheers. Write a little comment, subscribing. Consider subscribing. That's subscribing? No, that's writing a comment.